Welcome back, YouTube. I haven't got a call back from Al yet, but it's after 5, so I'm just gonna head to Tempe. I can't. I need my iPhone, dang it. So it's 5:05 p.m., still Friday afternoon. Or is it 5 o'clock when it becomes evening instead of afternoon? What is the official transition from afternoon to evening? I don't know. It's like 110 degrees outside. Feels like afternoon to me. And of course the sun high in the sky because summertime in Phoenix. Soundgarden on the radio. This got to be KWSS. This is not a Soundgarden song and nobody else plays. Oh, and the weak fuzzy signal. It's KWSS. Still so tragic about Chris Cornell. Man, best voices in rock ever was lost with that. Shit like that is why I can't sing. Why I can't sing most Soundgarden songs. I can't do that.
Okay, look, I went back and forth on the name a couple of times.
Wow, liking the limo right there.
Confused the engraver.
The Moira's Roses Garden. So the garden is dedicated to a rose that Moira owns.
I don't think that there are enough apostrophes.
I don't even see a rose in the garden.
Because there aren't any roses. Or are we the roses?
Okay, I'm getting roses for the garden. I'm getting roses.
And what are these numbers for?
It's Mom's birthday, David.
Those are the last 4 digits of your father's credit card.
It was a complicated order form. All right, there were a lot of fields to fill in.
I hope you got a really good deal on this.
It's by the letter, so we paid extra for those apostrophe S's.
Okay, enough. This is still a very big honor for your mother, is it not?
So when we die, are we all going to be buried here?
I'm assuming that was an audio clip from a movie, but I don't recognize it. KWSS has been doing that thing where they've just randomly out of context been playing clips from movies, and it's really awesome nostalgia when I recognize it. But then it's a what the fuck is that moment that I get drawn into when I don't. Yeah, I don't recognize that one. If anybody knows what movie that's from, hit me in the comments section. I recognize this song, but I'm not placing it either. I remember this is one of those songs I used to hear like on like KUKQ in the 90s. Not one of them I ever really liked that much. Whatever this was, it didn't intrigue me enough to go look it up. So on that note,
Ellen's visit follows Secretary of State Anthony Blinken's trip to China last month. President Biden later referring to Xi as a dictator. Inez de la Cuetara, ABC News, at the foreign desk. Let's take a look at your money.
See what's up with news.
Wall Street now. Stocks fell to end the week as investors digest the latest employment report. The Dow fell 187 points. The Nasdaq was off 18, and the S&P gave up 13. Another month, another solid gain for the job market, but it wasn't quite as solid as we've seen in recent months. The 209,000 jobs added in June, the smallest monthly gain in 2.5 years. It was still enough, however, to push the jobless rate nationally down from 3.7% to 3.6, just above a half-century low. The employment numbers are also the latest sign that the economy may be able to avoid a recession. It also makes it all but certain that the Federal Reserve will resume its interest rate hike.
Ain't nobody gonna convince me that we aren't already in a recession. Just saying.
Target rate. See you in court. That's what Uber Eats, DoorDash, and Grubhub are telling New York City. They're suing over new minimum pay rules for food delivery workers. Daria Alden, ABC News.
For more on money, you can visit the KTAR business.
She just said more on money. A lot of morons can't seem to figure out what to do with their money.
Homelessness.
It's been a couple of years since The Haven, a homeless shelter for seniors, was first approved in Phoenix. Now, as we get closer to its opening, we're hearing from a Valley man who helped make it happen.
Community advocate Jeff Spellman signed the Good Neighbor Agreement that allowed the shelter for unhoused seniors to be created. He says that decision has benefited his neighborhood.
Well, we're very excited about Project Haven opening and getting our first seniors in there and getting them off the street.
He wants to see other Valley communities do the same.
We need neighborhoods to be involved in the solutions and be part of it and make sure that what solutions do come are going to help solve those problems and not add to the problems.
Alan Overstolz, KTAR News.
You can learn more and find in-depth coverage on homelessness in the Valley at ktar.com/homeless. And it's time now for the KTAR Timeline with Steve Zinsmeister.
You know, that's something that I think more people would be getting behind, and more people should be trying to get behind, is those for the homeless seniors. Because if there's one homeless population that, I mean, granted, some of them are strung out on drugs too, but some of them are probably doing the drugs they're doing just to not be in pain because of ailments that come with age. I get not wanting to have a lot of the riffraff that's rolling around the zone and standing, you know, setting little encampments behind businesses, not wanting to have them in a shelter. I get it. 20 and 30-somethings need to get off the dope and get back to fucking work. But yeah, there are a lot of homeless elderly, and a lot of them really are not in a physical shape to work. And should somebody that's in their 70s have to work? I mean, really? Come on now.
I guess what they're really saying is it's the greatest thing since this day in 1928.
Here's the guy who's better than sliced bread.
Sliced bread invented this day in 1928. I should have listened to that feature.
You're just trying to butter.
I love that feature, Ed.
Right now. Well, listen, if you're headed out to the west
Thanks for the dad joke there, Dan.
In town on the I-10, you're going to find any brake lights right now. This commute is just about had it as far as brake lights are concerned. They're shriveling up. I got a little spot on the westbound 10 interloop approaching the Deck Park Tunnel, an extra minute or so there, and another extra minute or so just west of 59th Avenue. You'll also see a spot of brake lights out of the 303 interchange. That's only an extra 2-3 minutes to your ride, and that's it before we stick a fork in the freeways. But the crash list is another story. Northbound 101 Beaver Freeway at McDowell, it's a stall off to the left. A motorcycle involved wreck has the Scottsdale Road on-ramp closed to the westbound 101. Try 64th Street or Hayden Road on-ramps instead. This traffic report brought to you by Amco Transmissions and Total.
Wow, he recommended 64th Street. Detour Dan don't usually recommend half-milers. I guess 64th isn't a half-miler, but they're good.
Amco locations today. Detour Dan, KTAR News.
Crank up the AC and leave it on. We have an excessive heat warning through next Thursday with an overnight low temp of 86 and a high Saturday and Sunday at 114. Extreme heat expected possibly on Monday at 117.
Holy fucking
right now,
hell.
109 degrees. Weather brought to you by Howard Air. Every day you get 3 KTAR News expansions, 8, noon, and 5. 15 minutes of commercial-free, nonstop news, traffic, and weather. Brought to you by Sweet James. If you've been injured in an accident, call
she just said 117. Dear God.
Spanning the Valley of the Sun and all across the 48th
You know,
this is the gate of
trying to get on like semi-full-time at HelloFresh is sounding better and better every day.
I've got some very interesting news here, and it deals with you and I, who are both independents. We always knew that Maricopa County kind of took the lead with independence or no party preference or other. Now, the largest group of registered voters in the state of Arizona, are independents. Are no party preference, are other. And I was waiting for this to happen because I know it happened in Maricopa County, but when is it going to happen overall in Arizona? And now it finally has. And so, this hasn't happened in a long time. I think I remember around 2014, 2015, it was this way. But then I think we got a little bit more red. But now we're back to being purple. And so now I'm looking at...
I'm still a proud registered libertarian.
The Democratic Party.
Much.
And I'm like, which one of you are leaving for an independent, to be an independent, and why? Because I think that's the question. Like, I already know for me, I don't like either party.
Agreed.
I like some things from the Republican Party. I like some things, from the Democratic Party. But I'm interested in trying to figure out, who's leaving the party and how, and why. Is it because of what happened in the last election? Did Republicans look and say, you know what? This bunch of garbage that we've been given to vote for.
Yeah, I think
maybe I need to. Yeah,
I think the same thing goes on with the Democrat Party. I think they're looking and say, I don't want to vote for a lot of this chaos and craziness and this identity politics and this woke whack.
Still flabbergasted the way Kirsten Sinema just detached herself from the Democrat Party. But I think it's pretty much a given she won't be reelected.
Base candidate that's under 107 and excites either basis because it's not out there. And
yeah, for me, being an independent, I don't want to be labeled.
No.
I mean, maybe you're labeled.
Speaking of which, I got a text message about a month ago. I don't think I mentioned this in my vlog whatsoever because it was just such a, are you fucking kidding me kind of thing. And I get a feeling it's probably one of those text messages that was sent out via automation, probably to every registered libertarian. But I got a text message from somebody. It was identified as a person with a name. Saying that the Libertarian Party needed candidates for office. And asking me to run for office as a libertarian. And I forget what I typed back. I did give it a pretty thoughtful reply. That would have been a real easy text message for me to just delete and be like, yeah, right. And, because in my head, I mean, my first thought was, yeah, right. But I did give it a pretty thoughtful reply. And I don't recall exactly what I said back. It wasn't super long or anything, because I'm sure, nobody's got time to read that shit. But I did give it a thoughtful reply and just basically stated that the Libertarian Party needs more electable candidates than myself. I mean, seriously, if I ran for public office.
But also, I don't want the guy who's sitting in the Oval Office falling asleep at his desk and coughing all over the place.
Yeah.
Yeah, that guy. Anyway, yeah, if I ran for public office as libertarian, I would probably be just generally ignored. But if for some reason I started to gain momentum, because I have my good public speaker moments. I've given some amazing speeches. I mean, this vlog is just me all out on the table. My God, this vlog alone makes me unelectable. But anyway, I've given some good speeches. I have, in very public forums. Whether that was just a short speech announcing an artist coming on that a radio station I work for was presenting, or something that I said as part of my radio show, or just something that I said announced in the context of doing a karaoke show. I once addressed the state legislature regarding public mental health benefits that they were about to cut, which of course they ended up cutting anyway. And I think a lot of that is the result of those programs getting cut, is why we have so many people that are homeless on the side of the street, and when you walk by them, they're like talking to themselves in their own world. Those are people needing mental health benefits that have been stripped by the state to save money. And does it really save money when you've got people on the street that are doing criminal stuff? Anyway, that's what my speech was all about. Good speech. But anyway, let's say, hypothetically speaking, probably, zero chance of this happening, but I ran for office and I gave some good speeches, and I got a roll going with that, and I started to get the kind of poll numbers that make the R's and the D's nervous. My God, it wouldn't take much effort to make an attack ad on me. And I'd look good in that attack ad, because as I said the other day, I have no shortage of amazing mugshots. Now, how the fuck you get a glamour shot for your mugshot? I was out driving a VIP sedan, man. I was dressed to the nines, trying to look good and make some tips. And I was. The time I arrested, the time I got arrested, it eventually ended up with me going to prison, as opposed to jail. But I mean, sorry, crumpling my plastic. That led to me going to prison, not to be confused with jail. Those are not the same thing. So many people confuse prison and jail. Not the same thing. Not even close. At least not here in Arizona. But yeah, the one time that I got arrested that eventually led to me going to prison before I was released. That particular journey, that night I got arrested, I was dressed to the nines. I was out driving a VIP sedan, and so I mean and you better believe that mugshot looked like a fucking glamour shot. Anyway, yeah, well, it was that attack. Yeah, it would just write itself. Do you really want a convicted felon in Congress? On that note, maybe I should respond to that guy, because I could go for a low-level elected position, you know? Hey, maybe you can get me on the Phoenix City Council. Couldn't be worse than some of the fucking jokers that are on there now. I'm here. I still don't think I've got a call back from Al.
I have heard something about that. So imagine, let's say you're 75 or 80 and you're just in the kind of shape you are now. I'm in softball shape.
Yeah. How about that?
Fantastic.
Softball. Right? We're all in the shape like Robert Kennedy Jr.
No one's in that
shirts
shape.
off, doing a flip off a boat today at like 93 or whatever he is.
That guy's shredded.
He is pretty yoked.
He is on the juice. There's no doubt.
So, but, I mean, it's incredible. These are the things that they're taking on. And think about, we talked today about, and dementia and Alzheimer's, how close it...
that makes me think of my mother's father, my Grandpa Red. I don't talk about him much in this vlog. Usually when I talk about a grandfather, I talk about my stepfather's, my second stepfather's father. As, of all the people that I called Grandpa, he was the one that I had the longest and strongest relationship with. But that little bit on the radio reminded me of my Grandpa Red. And I forget what age he was when he passed, but he was yoked. That guy could have probably bench pressed me. And I want to say probably 70-ish. I have to ask my mom. I was like 19 and not paying attention. Actually, I think I was 18 when I last saw him. So, when you're 18, everybody over 30 is old. It's just old. Old or really old, Anybody over 40 is really old when you're 18. Anyway, but yeah, he was to use the term that Gatos just used, he was yoked. He could have easily bench pressed me. But he also was in the late stages of Alzheimer's and didn't even know his own name anymore. So yeah, it's something to keep in mind, especially when you watch the president give a speech. And welcome back, YouTube. It's still Friday afternoon, evening, whatever you would call 5:58 p.m. Been sitting here in front of Al's shop for a while, and he still hasn't returned. I called him. It went directly to voicemail. Never had this. Well, I've had issues with him not showing up when I'm hoping he would show up, but not while I'm desperately waiting to get my iPhone back. So that's a little worrisome. I really need to get that iPhone back tonight. His hours posted online are until 7 o'clock. I don't see any posted hours on the store itself. Man, I hope he didn't leave me hanging without my phone. He said he'd call and he didn't. I need to go to the bathroom. I know, I just share everything on this vlog. What can I say? Yeah, it's to the point I can't wait here anymore. So I got my sunshade in the Saturn, and it's parked in almost shaded parking. Wow, Pep Boys has gone out of business. It's the first I've noticed that. 1747, that would make it an East Apache address. 1747 East Apache in Tempe. There's been a Pep Boys at this location as long as I can remember, and I'm talking about going back to, say, the mid-1990s, early 1990s. So, yeah, they can say on the news that we're not in a recession all they want, but when I see businesses that have been doing good in a single location for nearly 30 years, maybe longer, that are suddenly vacant, I'm not feeling so positive about the economy. Just saying.
Wait.
I'm in the realm of beg buttons here. There goes a light rail. I don't have a. Actually, I think I have a couple of transit day passes if I absolutely needed to take the train someplace, but that's not on my agenda at all. I just need to find me some indoor plumbing. Just saying. And I can't think of any public restrooms near here. In fact, the Hookah Lounge, which is located right next to AZ Cell Phones, and they're not open right now. They're not open this time of day. But they've got a couple big signs right on the front of their business saying that restrooms are for paying customers only. This is a part of Tempe that tends to have a lot of, I mean, it's not the zone, don't get me wrong, but this part of Tempe does tend to have more than its share of homeless people wandering around. And everybody's got to use the bathroom, but at some point. But it becomes a little more difficult for the homeless people. That smoke and vape shop, I mean, you can tell from the architecture, obviously at one time it was a gas station. Back when gas stations were called service stations, and usually also had garages where you could get your car worked. You can see where the garages were on the left, and then the attendant on the right to pay for your gas. And I can tell you from that architecture, this dates back to the days when you had the choice between full serve and self-serve. Hey, speaking of full serve, I don't know if I've mentioned this on my vlog, but either it was last week or the week before, they finally changed the long-time standing law in Oregon that required all fuel to be full service and prohibited people from pumping their own gas. So yeah, you can finally pump your own gas in Oregon. It's the end of an era. Granted, one that hasn't affected me much, but I've made a couple of trips to the Portland area and through Oregon, and did have the experience with my daughter of pulling into a gas station and trying to figure out where the hell the attendant was so we could get some gas, and it taking quite a while to get gas because the attendant was somewhere, but not there by the gas pumps. I'm sure that was something that was done with the good intentions of ooh, look at that, riding the light rail helps keep ozone away. Does it really? Wow, I'm digging this mural. Never noticed this one before. Kind of got an ASU football player, and Sun Devil Stadium, and the A Mountain Butte, whatever you want to call it, and the old Mill Avenue Bridge, and the old mills in the background, and a lot of rust on it where the metal is just kind of fading it away. So we got some houses and a train and a stagecoach and a cactus over here. It's a cool mural. I love murals. Anyway. Yeah, that law put in place in Portland to try to protect the jobs of those who pump gas. But kind of the end of an era. Not completely the end of an era, because I do believe that law is still in place in New Jersey. But I do believe they're the last state that still has that sort of a law on the books. Everybody else pumping their own gas. But yeah, this gas station architecture definitely harkens back to a time when you would have had the gas pumps would have been here in front, and you would have had the option of full service or self-service. And to be honest, I can't remember this being a gas station. What I do remember this being is in the 1990s, it was Mr. Submarine, and it was a sandwich shop. And my sister Kim, who passed away a few years back, when she was a young adult, and used to live in apartments very near here, where her husband was the maintenance guy. I'm not sure if they were married yet at that time, but her husband was the maintenance guy for those apartments, and they got a really good deal, or maybe a free apartment for him being the maintenance guy there. And yeah, she worked here in that building when it was Mr. Submarine. Anyway, I still need to go to the bathroom. I should shut the hell up. I'm going to go into the Tempe Tavern here. I got some business cards to give to the bartender. Not like I think I got a great chance of getting a karaoke gig here, but hey, always a good idea to drop off a card. And I've got my Wells Fargo credit card. I'm not one to spend money on it, but I need to save every little bit of cash I have for other stuff. But yeah, I'm going to get me a Pabst. They sell the 16-ounce tall boys pretty inexpensively here. And always good music inside, nice air conditioning. Last time I think I used the bathrooms here, they're reasonably clean. Yeah, this is where I need to be while I try to get a hold of Al and figure out what the hell's going on with my cell phone. Hello and welcome back, YouTube. It's starting to cool off a little bit. I just checked the weather widget on Obamaphone 3, which I'm shooting video with as per usual, and it's got down to 107. It was 111 earlier. So, of course, I'm just coming out of the air conditioning at Tempe Tavern, so I'm feeling pretty good. You better yield. There's a fool in the crosswalk right here. Yeah, you need to yield. All right. So yeah, it's cooled off to 107. That's something. Hey, she's backing up out of the crosswalk. That was nice. So 6:48 p.m. Still Friday afternoon. It is hard to see that walk signal with the sun at that angle. Oh my goodness. So I have heard where my friend Chris is, what hospital he's in. Probably going to go over and try to visit him. Walking back to AZ Cell Phones, Al called me while I was in the bar, and as I figured, he had to go pick up some parts. He's a one-man operation, so sometimes he does need to leave his shop to get parts to finish phones, which is understandable. Glad he got back a hold of me. Did talk to the bartender about potentially hosting karaoke there. They've never done karaoke at that bar, as far as I can recall. That's always been a live music venue. She gave me an email address to the person that hires the bands. Karaoke in a place that generally just does live bands is a hard sell, but I've managed to sell that gig a lot. In fact, I could give you all a long list of all the places that I've hosted karaoke at that were primarily live music venues. The one that's first coming to mind, of course, is the Yucca Tap Room, but I've had several of those gigs over the past couple of years, and or past 18 years, however the hell long I've been doing karaoke. Anyway, I'm here. I'm gonna get my phone.